Hello, I'm Disnord, and today we're going to be talking about something that I've actually wanted to talk about for quite a while. Because today we're going to be talking about something called Thalassophobia. Now, what is Thalassophobia? It is the fear of open water, such as the ocean. Now, if you know me personally, I am a swimmer. I'm a competitive swimmer, have been for years. I swim in heats, and I've actually won a few. So, I'm a good swimmer. I can hold my own in the water. But I have a fear of the ocean. Now, that sounds a bit dumb, right? I can swim extremely fast, but when it comes to salt water, hell no. But the thing is, I love the game Subnautica, which is all about scary shit in the ocean. But I love it. Because, I don't know, that kind of horror just resonates with me. I can feel what the character's feeling. So we're going to be doing 3 things today. 1, what is Thalassophobia? We just went over that. But I'll go a bit more in depth. 2, why I have Thalassophobia. And 3, what Thalassophobia feels like. Part 1, what is it? So Thalassophobia is the fear of open waters and the fear of the unknown of the depths. I'm not afraid of being alone in the water. That's not what scares me. I'm afraid of not being alone in the water. Just seeing below you. Like, I went snorkeling in Hawaii, and it was beautiful. I would love to do it again. But since, pandemic, can't right now. But once I got to a certain point, it just dropped. Everything just dropped off into the depths. And I could kind of see the bottom, but just barely. And so that, I was like, oh, hell no. And I swam back to shore as fast as I could. And I had a feeling that something was going to grab me right as I stepped onto land. So what is that, right? Just more of an explanation is scared of, I guess, monsters of the deep. And you might think, well, right, we know a lot of the animals in the ocean, and this might be true. And the reason I say might be is because we've only explored 5% of the ocean. And the ocean's a big place. And we've only explored, we know more about space than we do of our own ocean. So, yeah, that's what scares me. And also, as well as there are mysteries that have come from the deep. And if you have, been up to date on, ocean news, there was a audio recording that surfaced, no pun intended, that it's called, I think it's been named Upsweep. And then there's another one called the Bloop. But I think Upsweep is way scarier. It's a sound that starts low and that climbs in pitch and then just stops. Nobody knows what it is. But it reoccurs, and it happens a lot. I think every other year maybe. But nobody knows what it is. And that's what scares me. Because if we don't know what that is, it could be anything. And also there's a sound called the bloop. That is, it's speculated to be from icebergs shifting. But if it isn't, then it would be the largest animal ever recorded. Let that sink in. There's a sound of something that we don't know what. That could be icebergs, but sounded too organic. Now, why do I have Thalassophobia? When I was about 7, I almost drowned, and it was just in a pool, right? But I couldn't swim at that point. I wasn't wearing any flotation device, which was stupid, but I accidentally, stepped. There was like a slope down to the deep end. I stepped there, and then I lost my balance and kept going down, and I couldn't swim up. Um, and just in that moment, even in that, what, 10-foot deep pool, I was convinced something was going to grab me. And again, I was 7, right? I was stupid. Sounds stupid, is stupid. But at that second, I didn't know the difference. So that's what really got me. And I was saved, obviously. So that's why I have it. Now, I'm going to attempt to convey the feeling of what it's like to have Thalassophobia. So, to get this best experience, probably sit in a dark room, put on headphones. Seriously, please put on headphones. Um, just get the full experience. And so I'm gonna play a sound, and the sound is going to be upsweep. You're gonna hear upsweep, and then I'll start into the story or the quote unquote experience. So I'll play the sound, or I'll play the sound, and then we'll just go straight into the story. So get comfortable, put on some headphones, turn off the lights, and listen. Now, I want you to imagine yourself. You're sailing with a friend or family on a sailboat that you rented. You're in the middle of the ocean on about a 2-week trip. It's been fun. Seen a lot of cool things, cool places. You fished a lot. But one day the wind picks up a bit, and while trying to keep everything under control, you get hit by the boom, the thing that holds the sail. Big, basically metal pole hits you in the back, sends you overboard. You sink about 50 feet before you realize what's really going on. You hear nothing. You see nothing. It's pitch black. Your ears hurt from the pressure of the water. You can swim, but not very well. You hear something. Something low. Something deep below you. It gets louder and louder, and suddenly it goes away, fades off. You start to panic. Is this I'm going to die, drowning in the ocean after a fun weekend? You try to swim up, but the pain in your ears tells you you're swimming in the wrong direction. You're all turned upside down. Left is right, right is left, up is down. You hear it again, louder this time. You look down, still see nothing, can barely see your feet. You feel something brush your leg. You do not know what. Slimy and cold, colder than the depths. However impossible it may seem. It starts to sting. You look down or up, you don't know what. You see something moving. Something extremely dark. However, the fact that you can't see your feet, but yet you can see this thing makes you realize it's right in front of your face. You panic, you try to swim back, and it fades into the darkness. You hear it again and again, loud this time. But again, you don't know what. You're all turned around, confused, dazed, scared. But you've forgotten that you need to breathe. Scrambling in a given direction you just hope is up. The pain in your ears subsides as your head breaks the surface, being pulled back up onto the boat. Your leg is bleeding. They ask you what it was, what happened down there in the depths. You can't say for sure, but you do know one thing. That you had never seen it before, you would know not what it was, and that you're never, ever going back. So that's my take on really what I'm afraid of happening, what I dread, just the feeling of being alone, and there's something there with you, something big, something that doesn't give a crap about your feelings, that just wants to eat you. So, that's my dread. That's what I fear happening. Just that kind of sense of impending doom, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, if you enjoyed, please support me somehow, either subscribing, leaving a like, leaving a comment. Comments would be great. Thank you for listening.